If you're a print-on-demand seller struggling to make sales, this episode is for you. It was inspired by our six-figure blueprint, which we mapped out after generating multiple millions in sales across two apparel brands in completely different niches using the same plug-and-play strategy. Our hope is that you will take this blueprint, apply it to your business, start making sales, and unlock more freedom in your life. My name is Adrian Von Arx, here with my co-host, Carlos Colon. Welcome to the Print On Demand podcast, a show dedicated to helping you make money online with Shopify and Print On Demand. What's up? Thank you for tuning in and welcome to the show. Today, we're going to be discussing our six-figure blueprint, which is a proven, repeatable brand growth strategy that we and many of our students have used to make a lot of sales and build brands that we love. Carlos, we're just going to go from 0 to 100 here. So let's just jump right in. We're going to break this down actually into 3 parts. All right. So our six-figure blueprint, we actually break it down into 2 different phases. So we're going to talk about phase 1, then we're going to talk about phase 2, and then we're going to tell you how to apply this strategy to your business starting today, because we're all about the fast action here. We know action brings clarity. So let's just get into it. Phase 1, we call this the foundation. So really, this is just setting up all the foundations of your business before you shift gears into phase 2, which is going to be all around the sales generating activity. Because before you start marketing your products and your brand, you actually need products and you need a place that produces them and you need a place to sell them and to market them. So we'll get into all that. Let's start with phase 1 here. And phase 1, we've actually broken down into 5 steps for this particular episode. So the first step of phase 1 is to choose a niche, all right? So I want you to use this simple framework to determine your niche very quickly that we call the 3 Ps of niche selection. That is passion, proficiency, and profitable, all right? So the first P, passion. Is this a niche that you and a lot of others are passionate about? Secondly is proficiency. Is this a niche that you're somewhat proficient in? Remember, you do not have to be an expert, but something you know more than the average person about. And that's probably because you're passionate about it and it's fun for you. And then third is profitable. Is there validation to know that this niche is profitable? That's the simple framework, the 3 Ps of niche selection that we want you to go through when you're determining your niche. Now, if you are struggling with niche selection, I don't want to spend too much time focused just on this one because we have a lot to discuss on this episode. But if you are struggling with niche selection like so many people do, I recommend checking out episode 4 of our podcast, which is all about niche selection and where we share our 10-minute niche selection challenge. But let's keep it rolling here into step 2 of phase 1 called foundations. And that is to just create 3 simple designs. All right. If you're a print-on-demand seller and you want to make more sales, listen up. One of the most effective ways that I've found to create winning designs that actually sell is to blend current design trends with your niche. And the quicker you can jump on these, the better. That's why I'm excited to let you know that Kittl just released their free 2026 design trends report, and you're going to want to see this. This report reveals AI design, typography, and trendy design elements you're going to see in 2026, compiled from a graphic design company that works with thousands of designers every day. Along with report insights, they also share the design assets so you can actually start using these right away to create your own original designs. Kittl's trends reports always get people talking, including myself. So if you want to get a head start on these trends, I highly recommend checking out Kittl's 2026 trends report by clicking the link in the description below. And if you're not yet using Kittl, you can try it for free by clicking the link in the show notes or get 25% off a paid plan with code ADRIANPOD. So the focus here is really just to have a few products to sell on your website so that you're able to test the checkout process and you're able to place an order and see the quality of one of these products. These 3 probably will not be your winning designs. It's very rare that the first couple are winning designs. In fact, usually the first couple are the worst. They're terrible.
Yeah.
My first My first like 50 were absolutely horrible. And maybe yours will be too. Hopefully it's not the case. Hopefully you can learn from our mistakes. But I want you to know that this isn't like, the focus isn't to spend hours creating these 3, hoping that you're gonna have a winning design. We just wanna get something on your website so that when you're setting up your website, you can actually go through the process of adding products from your print-on-demand company and then test the checkout process and check for quality. So let's keep it moving here to step 3 of foundations, and that is to choose a POD, a print-on-demand supplier. Now, there are so many print-on-demand companies to choose from. It could be overwhelming if you look at every single one, and I actually do not recommend that. We do recommend doing your own research to determine which is a good fit for you, but don't overthink this and don't let this stall your process. You can always switch providers down the road if you're unhappy. I've done it. A lot of our students have done it. It's not the end of the world. It would be nice if we didn't have to do that. Hopefully that's not the case. But if you need to, just like pivoting from a niche, you're able to switch providers. Now, a great place to kind of start your research is just to go to the Shopify App Store. That's just apps.shopify.com. Search print on demand. You're going to find a whole, like hundreds of print-on-demand companies in there probably. And then what I recommend is to look at the number of reviews of the different POD companies, look at their star rating, and then read some reviews to see what people are saying about the companies that you want to consider. So very quickly, you should be able to determine 3 print-on-demand companies, maybe even 2, or maybe you even know who you want to use already. If that's the case, great. Go ahead and start using them. But if you want to do the research, I would compare 1 to 3 print-on-demand companies, shortlist it to that, and then spend the time actually looking at the reviews, the star rating, all that good stuff. So my strong recommendation is actually to not spend any more than 1 focused hour on researching and selecting a POD provider. Like, you should be able to go to the Shopify App Store and just read the reviews, look at the star rating, look at all that stuff, and identify one that you want to use within an hour. If you are stuck at this step of selecting a POD supplier, I recommend checking out episode 8 of the podcast, which we specifically created with the intention of helping you select a POD supplier. Our preferred suppliers, the ones that we use and love and recommend, those are Printful and Printify, but maybe they're not the right ones for you, right? Maybe you want a product that they don't offer. Whatever the reason, that's why we created that episode, so that you can just go on there and follow the steps that we discuss in there. All right, let's keep it rolling here. So let's talk about phase 4 of foundations, and that is to build and publish your website. Now, I know for a lot of people, this might sound overwhelming and daunting, and you're probably thinking to yourself, but I don't know how to build a website. I'm not a coder. I'm not a developer. You don't need any of that with Shopify, all right? And this is why, one of the many reasons why we use, love, and recommend Shopify. So that's what we recommend and what we use for website creation to sell your products and market your brand. Shopify makes it quick and easy to build a website with free pre-made website templates, a lot of just drag and drop or upload a file like your logo, and there's no tech skills required, all right? So I don't want you beating yourself up over this. They have training. There's lots of training online. I mean, there's a lot of people that are building websites, Shopify websites in a day. And I truly believe that most of you listening to this are totally capable of doing that. Remember, you can always be making additions and changes and modifications to your website at any time, all right? Don't expect perfection right out of the gate. Like, don't expect to just throw together this website and everything's gonna be perfect, because perfection is the enemy of progress. We just want you to start taking action, and then you'll get clarity and you can make changes. And here's what I will say. Even if you think your website's perfect when you launch, I bet you in 6 months or a year, it'll look different. It'll look different in some way. It might look completely different. We've seen so many people do that. And that's why we say just take action, and that action will bring clarity. All right. Step 5 is, once you've launched your website, we recommend placing a test order on your website. Like, go through the process as if you were a customer. And this is to test the checkout process, to test the customer experience, right? Make sure that it was a smooth and easy and seamless and frictionless experience. And then on the POD side, this allows you to test that experience, right? How good were they at fulfilling, producing the product and shipping it to you? Like, what was the delivery time? Was everything smooth? And then, of course, you want to make sure that you're actually happy with the product quality. So many people ask us, should I order samples? And we would say, if you just started your business and you have not seen any products from this company, absolutely, you should order samples. Like, this is a good investment on your part because you're getting so many benefits from that. The benefits that I just listed. And then as a bonus benefit, you could actually use that product to create marketing material. All right, Carlos, that's it for a brief summary of phase 1 foundations of the six-figure blueprint. And I want to hear if there's anything you want to add to that or anything else you want to say.
Yeah, great summary. That's all you have to do to get out of phase 1. And the end of phase 1, what it means is that you can actually start making sales. You can start actually making profit, making money. Just don't get obsessive about things here. At this point, you can still change things as you go along, but you don't want to get obsessive and you want to keep it lean. So for instance, when you're building your website, you don't want to add a bunch of apps. Mm-hmm. You want to keep it as lean as possible and simple as possible because you don't need something overly complex to make a lot of sales. Later on down the road, you can add lots of these other things like the upsell apps and these other interesting ad bundle apps. But at this point, just keep it as simple as possible just so you can get it out the door and have an MVP, have a minimal viable product that you can start testing with new designs. That's the key.
100%. Simplify to amplify. Like, keep it simple. This doesn't need to be overly complex. And if you make it overly complex, like so many of us do, myself included when I first started out, you're going to find yourself spending so much time in phase 1. And it takes much longer to get into phase 2, which is where you shift the focus from the foundations to the sales generating activity. That's where you want to be, right? So let's go there. Let's talk about that. Phase 2, sales generating activity. Let's quickly summarize the 3 parts of sales generating activity. Those are design research, design creation, and marketing. All right. So first is design research. And I want to share a quote. This to me really resonated, is that your designs dictate your sales. Your designs dictate your sales. If you've made a lot of sales, you probably already know this. But we know that a lot of you listening have not made a lot of sales. A lot of you haven't started your brand. A lot of you have started your brand, but maybe you haven't made your first sale. And I just want to give you like the sauce, right? Like, your designs dictate your sales. And so when it comes to research, this is such a crucial, integral part of success. Yet what we found is that so many people, they skip this step altogether, or they just do not do it correctly, and it leads to very poor results. And we don't want that for you, all right? So when it comes to researching, we recommend using successful competitor websites, online marketplaces like Etsy and Amazon, and social media to research best-selling content and designs. Secondly, you want to reverse engineer the best sellers that you're able to find, what we call the winners, right? So we want you to save these winning designs to a folder and spend time going through them to understand why they're selling so well. Many times you're going to start noticing trends. You're like, oh, these 3 out of 5 winners all used a similar looking font, or they had a similar kind of layout to the design, or all 5 of these winners were funny and relatable to a particular group of people, a target audience, right? And so what you want to do is you want to reverse engineer the virality of these designs, and you want to understand why they're selling so well. And just before we get into the design creation, I just want to really hammer this home. Focus on identifying winning designs. And this is a common mistake that I've made and I've seen a lot of other people make, is that they identify designs that they like, designs that resonate with them, but designs that have zero validation that they have mass appeal with that target audience. And if you're guilty of this, like we have been, I want to encourage you to rein it in, all right? Discipline equals freedom. We want freedom here. We're trying to unlock freedom in our life. So let's talk about design creation, because we know that success leaves clues, right? So you've done the research. You started reverse engineering the virality of some of these designs. And now what you want to do is use these validated winning designs as inspiration to create a minimum of 10 original niche-specific designs for your target audience each month. If you can do more than 10, great. We love that, because we know that volume negates luck, right? With every new design, it's like playing soccer and having another shot on goal, right? With every new design, you have another shot on goal. And that's what we want for you, right? We don't want you dwelling over one or two or three designs that you've already tried and tested and nothing happened. It was crickets, right? They didn't get the form of validation that you want. So we say minimum 10, and honestly, with the design research tools that exist today, this should not take very long. I mean, you can use Kittl, you can use Canva. There's all these AI design tools. Kittl has amazing built-in AI, including Nano Banana as their default. There's so many tools, beginner-friendly, non-technical, non-graphic designer tools that you can use to create incredible designs very quickly. So 10 is like the minimum, the baseline. If you can do more, that's even better. Now, before I get into marketing, which is the third step of phase 2, I really want to hammer home one thing. Please, please, please do not steal designs. Do not copy, do not steal designs. It's super unethical. It could get you in legal trouble.
Yeah.
And many times it doesn't even work. Resist the temptation. Do not risk the empire for a pot of gold. Just resist that temptation. Now, if you are struggling with design research and creation, I recommend checking out episode 5 of this podcast, which discusses how we approach both of these. Now, before I get into the third step of phase 2, which is all around sales generating activity, Carlos, is there anything you want to add?
Whew, that was good, man. That's pretty quick. I hope everybody got everything. The big thing here for design research and design creation that I want to just hammer home is, and Adrian mentioned this already in thorough detail, don't take inspiration from designs that didn't earn it. Designs that are not best sellers, that haven't made sales. And another thing I'll add to that is don't scale out designs that didn't earn it. So if you test the design and it doesn't resonate with people, don't scale out to like 10 different variations of it if you haven't actually got the validation for the one.
Thank you. I'm so glad you brought that up. And a freaking man. As we say, reward the winners, punish the losers when we talk about designs. All right, guys, buckle up, because we're going to talk about what's probably the most popular subject when it comes to building a business with Shopify and print on demand. It's one of my personal favorite topics, and that is marketing. All right. Let's go marketing.
Let's go.
And I want to start by sharing a quote that this isn't my quote. I don't know who actually created it, but I think it's so good when it comes to marketing. And that quote is that closed mouths don't get fed. Oof. Closed mouths don't get fed.
That's good.
Right? Guys, it's impossible to make sales if no one knows your products exist. It's impossible. You can't make sales if no one knows your products exist. So you need traffic to your products to validate your designs and to make sales. So here is the TLDR, the quick and dirty kind of strategy that we applied years ago. And this has helped us change the game across our two brands that we were able to build and scale up. And it's changing the game for a lot of other people too. That is, first, to choose one primary platform to acquire customers and choose one secondary platform to retain customers and commit to mastery of just those two platforms. That is it. That is all you need to create a successful brand. You don't need to be on every platform, and you shouldn't, because if you have diluted focus, you get diluted results. And I hope you listening, right? I hope you listening right now are breathing a massive sigh of relief, because I know a lot of you feel like you need to be everywhere. You're like, oh, I need to be on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube, every single platform out there, Lemonade, Clapper, everything out there, right? No, you do not. No, you do not. All right. Find where your target audience, your ideal customers are congregating, and go there and just commit to mastery. Dominate that platform, because it's way more powerful to have a large engaged community on one platform than to have this small, insignificant presence on 5, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you just need to find one. Where are your target audience hanging out? Go there, go where they're congregating, and master that platform. All right. Now, maybe down the road, when you get a team, you might want to branch out to other platforms, but I don't know about you. It's more than challenging enough to master one platform, let alone 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 platforms. All right. So do yourself a favor, save yourself a lot of time and energy and frustration, and just choose one platform and commit to one platform for acquiring customers and commit to master that, and then one platform to retain customers and commit to mastery of that. So I'm just going to keep moving here, but I do want to give you our specific recommendations. Maybe this works for your brand, maybe it doesn't. That's totally fine. We just want to say what's worked for us. All right. So we love Instagram as a primary platform. It's probably the most popular platform we see. Actually, it's definitely the most popular platform we see being used by apparel brands. And I just feel like it was made for us, since it's very visual. You can create shoppable posts, so you can have a catalog of your products tied to your page. You can have clickable links to your products. And we truly believe that they have the best paid ads platform. And it just feels like it was designed. Instagram was designed for brand building, shopping, and sales. That's why we love it. But It's important to know Instagram is a rented platform, meaning you don't own your audience. Your audience is borrowed. Instagram, Facebook, Etsy, Amazon, whichever platform you're on, they own your audience and they can take it away at any time. And that's pretty scary, right? That is why we do not only rely on a primary platform. This is why the goal of the primary platform should always be to leverage that borrowed audience, leverage it to grow and build your audience, and then bring that borrowed audience over to your secondary platform, which should be a platform where you own your audience.
Yes.
The secondary platform that we use and recommend is email marketing, since it's still very effective and it is not going anywhere, contrary to what people say. All right. So, for example, we'll leverage Instagram to reach our target audience, because they have our target audience hanging out and congregating. And our goal is to bring them over to our email list. The money is made on the own platforms, but a lot of people don't talk about it because it's just not as sexy as talking about marketing and driving traffic with paid ads and social media, or having an Etsy shop, whatever it is, right? It's just not as sexy. But you know what? It is sexy? Making a lot of sales from email marketing. If you are wanting to learn more about running paid ads to drive traffic, which is one of the quickest ways to get validation on designs, I do recommend checking out episodes 13, 19, 20, and 25. We talk about this a lot, guys, because it's critical to get eyeballs on your products, right? It's not enough just to have the products. You need 2 things. You need a product that has mass appeal with your target audience and eyeballs on that product. That's what it comes down to. So we talk about these 2 things a lot because they're absolutely critical to success. So Carlos, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah. No, I like how you actually gave email marketing a little bit of time, because email marketing never seems to get the plug it really deserves. It's seriously, it's like so much more profitable than the other marketing channels, but people just don't talk about it because it's something that happens kind of after, right? Because you don't use email marketing to acquire customers. You use email marketing to retain customers, to make them repeat purchasers. And so that's why I think that's probably why it doesn't get the fair shake it deserves in a lot of like YouTube videos, or a lot of people talking about marketing. But you really should start right away with email marketing.
100%.
Because you're paying the big bucks to get the people. You might as well like squeeze out as much juice out of that as possible, right? And with email marketing, it's low cost. It's very little cost versus the return. Like figures of around 25 times return on investment for email marketing, which that would be insane if you could get that in ads or any other type of marketing channel.
Totally. 100%. Yes. Amen to all of that. So part 3, applying the strategy to your business starting today. First, phase 1, foundation. So let me kind of summarize what we talked about and what you can start doing right away. Okay. Phase 1, choose a niche. If you haven't chosen a niche already, go to the episode that we recommended earlier and get that done. We want you to get it done in 10 minutes or less. Maybe it'll take you an hour. We want you to get it done very, very quickly so that you can just start moving forward, okay? Secondly, create 3 designs to have on your website that you can just have on there as products that you get the experience of creating them. And then you want something that you can actually test the checkout process with, and then order a sample to make sure you're happy with it. And then third is to launch your website. Get that website launched, all right? It doesn't need to be perfect. It does not need to be perfect. Remember, perfection is the enemy of progress. We want you to put all of your energy and attention into phase 1 and to getting out of phase 1, to exiting phase 1 as quickly as possible. We would like you to do it in 30 days or less. And we believe that you can do it in 30 days or less. So we want you to get that done. And then we want you to shift gears into phase 2. Phase 2, we want you to focus on 3 primary things. And this is where 95+% of your time should be focused moving forward on 3 things, 3 sales generating activities: design research, design creation, and marketing. All right. So go out there, take the time to research, to identify winning designs that you can reverse engineer and use as inspiration to recreate original designs for your target audience.
Yes.
Try to create a minimum of 10 a month. Minimum. If you can do more, great. But try to create a minimum of 10 a month and then start driving traffic to those products. Now, there's a number of different ways. We told you we love having one primary platform and one secondary platform. So primary platform, which we love Instagram, and you want your secondary platform, we love email marketing, and that's it. That's it. That's the playbook in a nutshell. So we're going to land the plane there. But if you do want more in-depth training on the strategy that we use to generate multiple millions in sales across 2 apparel brands in completely different niches, I do recommend checking out my free 60-minute on-demand training called How to Make Your First $10,000 in Sales with Shopify and Print on Demand, which we're going to link below in the show notes, as we always do. Also, if you are ready to take action to start or grow your brand and you're looking for coaching, community, and accountability, there is an opportunity at the end of that class to join our training and coaching program called T-Shirt Legends Academy. So if you're looking for direct personalized coaching from Carlos and I to expedite the growth process, you can learn more on that class and decide if TLA is a good fit for you. We always like to mention that it's there and that you can check it out and that it's not for everyone, but you can go and determine if it's for you. So you can register for that training by clicking the link below in the show notes or by going to ecomlegendsacademy.com/grow. With that, we're going to sign off. This was a fiery episode. This was so much fun. Thank you so much for listening. We love you guys. We love hanging out with you. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to start before you're ready, take imperfect action, and remember that you're always one design away.
Hey, if you're loving the Proud Man podcast and want more, please help us out by rating this on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you're listening from. It only takes a minute, and this is one of the best ways to support the show and let us know that you enjoy these weekly episodes. Thank you in advance, and we'll talk soon.